Mini Slide Program 1. Your blocks are going to be placed on the outer ring of your mini slide, except for your 9 o'clock block, which will be on your inner ring. You are going to start with your left foot bumped right up against that 9 o'clock block, and your first move is going to be sliding to your 3. I want you to put your hands on your hips, and I want, as you do this hip bump out to the side, I want you to notice that your left hand is going to sink as your pelvis shifts, and your right hand is going to come up. So it's going to look like this, and we're going to go each movement for 1 minute. Everybody ready? And begin. Great job. As you're sliding, you'll notice that you're pushing your right foot into the slide. You're going to hit that block nice and solid so that you have a position, a place that you're stopping. And as you hit that block, you're really going to load into that hip. Your pelvis is going to shift. The right side comes up, the left side goes down. You may be feeling a stretch on your inner thigh of your left leg. I want you to stand up nice and tall so that you're not bending forward as you do this. We are really looking for motion just in this direction. Slide that foot out and slide that foot back towards your 9 o'clock block. Great work. The next one, I'm going to take that same right foot and I'm going to move out to my 5 o'clock block. So the motion becomes opening up the hips, hit that 5 o'clock block, same thing, your pelvis is rotate or bending down so that my left hand is dipping and my right hand is coming up. But we're getting that opening up of your hips. So you're going to hit that block, feel secure, and then slide it back home. Ready? And begin. Great work. I want you to think about being up nice and tall, not letting your chest sink forward. You really don't want to see this kind of motion. I want you to stay up nice and tall so that your pelvis is just shifting this direction. You're getting your hip to open up. Bumping my right hip out to the side. Your left leg is staying nice and straight. Hitting that block, feeling secure, and then just dragging this leg back to your 9 o'clock home position. Great work. Slide it out, slide it back home, and stop there. And our last one in this series is to get my right foot up to my 1 o'clock block. So for this, you're going to slide out. You're going to get in this kind of uncomfortable snowplow type position. And then again, bump that hip out. So we're just looking for motion in those hips here. Again, my left hip's going to dip. My right hip's coming up and back home. So out, hit that block, bump, and come back home. And what I want you to be aware of is not letting this left foot cheat off of this 9 o'clock block. So when you get here, you may notice that your foot is twisting, and I want you to really be sure to lock that guy into place before you get this motion going. Okay, and begin. Great work. Slide it out, hit that block. I know this might be asking for a little more hip motion than you're used to. That's okay. Just slow it down if you need to. This is for you, your body, your movement. You're just trying to get that pelvis to shift in a little bit of a different direction to get those pelvic floor muscles really turned on. The low impact nature of this board is what is so ideal for this movement. You're gaining a lot of muscular interaction by this slippery surface. really working hard to control this motion. Watch for your good form. Let that pelvis shift and complete. Okay, we're ready to switch to the other side, so I need you to bump your 9 o'clock block out. So that's going to go out to the outer ring, and your 3 o'clock block is going to come in one. So this time we're going to be doing the same movements, but we're going to be leading with our left leg. So my right foot is bumped right up against my 3 o'clock block, and I'm going to start by moving my left foot out to my 9 o'clock block and get that same side bend type motion with my pelvis. Okay, everybody ready? And begin. Okay, great job. You might already be realizing that you have a difference between your right and left side. That's okay, we're just trying to even it all out here. So you can do some self-assessment as you would go through this. Just notice whether one is easier for you on one side or the other. If you feel like you're a little tighter. As you're doing this, remember to go at your own pace, at a speed that works for you. You're really going to hit that 9 o'clock block. Once you hit it, really let that pelvis dip. We're driving into that left leg. You may be feeling a stretch on this side. You may be feeling it out here. Either one is just fine, and you're just really focused on hitting that block and getting a little bit of motion in that pelvis. And great job. Okay, the next one, I'm going to take that left leg, and this time I'm going to bump out to my 7 o'clock block. So again, I want to get that motion of opening up those hips, hit that block, and again, tip with the pelvis, and then bring it back home. So open up, tip with that pelvis, and then drag that leg back home. Okay, ready? And begin. Out, and drag it back. Hit that block, and return to home. Doing great. Open up that hip. Again, just really being aware and conscious about that right foot, staying locked into your 3 o'clock block. Open up, shift, and drag it back home. Control that motion in both directions, both on the way out to that 7 o'clock block and on the way back home to your 3. Great job, about 10 more seconds. Hit that block, bump that hip out. And finish with that one. Okay, now that left leg is going to come out to my 11 o'clock block here. So this is the one where I'm going to get myself into this kind of awkward position. I'm going to let that left hip bump out. Again, really watching to make sure that that right heel is not coming off that 3 o'clock block. I need you to lock that into place there and then drive it back home. So you may have to slow down for this exercise. That is fine. Okay, ready? And begin. Out to that 11, bump that hip, bring it back home. Good work. Just doing a really good job. Eyes up, chest up, looking right out in front of you. Focus on your positioning. Think about your hands and how that your right hand is dipping, left hand is going up. Bumping that left hip out to the side, keeping that right leg nice and straight with your heel up against that 3 o'clock block. Great work, just slide it out, hit that block, slide it back home. Each time feeling like you're just getting a little more length. A little more motion in that pelvis. And great job. Next motion, really important to get that pelvic floor engaged here. You're going to keep your right foot bumped up against that 3 o'clock block. Your left leg is going to slide over to your 9. And then keeping your hands on your thighs, I want you to slowly squat down, nice and slowly, like you're reaching back for a chair. Kind of your butt goes out, your chest and eyes are up, facing forward, and your hands just can slide down those thighs and then slide it back up. So again, it's out. Once you get there, slide down and then slide back home, and home being your 3 o'clock block and standing up nice and tall. 1 minute, ready? And begin. Slide it out, slide those hands down, reach that butt back, and come on back up nice and tall. Great work. Slide it out, back up, nice and tall. Nice and slow and controlled, this motion. What's happening is your pelvic floor right now is reacting to this motion. The muscles are extending down and back up, kind of that trampoline type motion. We're just training them to be able to do that. React to your body's motion. And come on back. Release. And come on back up nice and tall. Slide those hands down and up. Good. Just nice and controlled squat, sliding it out, controlling that motion on the way out, and again on the way back home. Great job. Okay, the next one is we're going to take that same exercise, but we're going to increase it a little speed. So we're going to slide out. Once you hit that block, it's 3 quick squats, and then bring it on back home. So again, it's training that pelvic floor to be able to react to that motion. It's that bulbous effect that's happening. It's the down and back up again. So it's out here, control it, 1, 2, 3 squats. Now your 3 squats can be really little motion if it's uncomfortable for you, or it can get a little bit bigger and a little deeper, and then you're sliding it back home. So 1 minute, 3 quick squats, and here we go. Slide it out, control that motion. 1, 2, 3, quick, and drag it back home. Slide it out, 1, 2, 3, quick, and slide it back home. Again, if yours needs to be little, little is fine. Still working on that motion. If you can get kind of big and quick, that's great. 1, 2, 3, and bring it back home. We're just looking for speed here. We really want speed to be our variable. Training those muscles to do different things that we need them to be able to do to react to our everyday life. Doing great. Slide it out. 1, 2, 3 quick squats. Slide it back in. Good work. Eyes up, chest up, controlling that motion. Remember, you're dragging your foot. It's not a step, it's a slide. That low impact motion, really important for this to give you as much success as we can. And there you go. Great job. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but we need to lead with the other leg. So we're just going to start by sliding on over to our 9 o'clock block. So this time my right leg is leading for those same slow squats. So I'm going to slide out to my 3, nice slow squat, chest up, eyes up, and then slide it right back. Slide it out, hit that block, down, and back up. And begin. Slide it out, control that motion, hit that block really solid, and then stand back up, slide it back home. Hit that block, nice and slow, bring it back home. Great work, just controlling that motion, teaching that pelvic floor to work for you. Slide it out, squat it low, slide it back up. Good work, just drag that foot. Squat it down. You'll notice that these blocks are really controlling your foot placement, not letting your toes cheat out or in. We really want that motion there, so make sure you're just getting yourself nice and solid in between those blocks before you slide it out, and then slide it back up. Good. Okay, great work. And now last one is the fast squats, but leading with the right leg. So for this one, remember it's out, hands on thighs, 1, 2, 3, quick, and then drag it back in. Out, 1, 2, 3, quick, and drag it back in. Okay, are you ready? And begin. Slide it out. 1, 2, 3. Good, nice and quick. Training that pelvic floor to react. Good work. You can look down to see where that block is so that you hit it nice and solid. But then I want eyes up, chest up when you're doing your 3 low squats. And slide it back up and stand up nice and tall. Good work. About 10 more seconds. Don't forget to breathe. And great job. All done.